never an easy
Brian
thing
LeClair
to have to start with.
did I to 8 minutes.
Don't take it for allergic to Nurtec ODT. Allergic reactions can occur even days after use, like trouble breathing and rash.
And as things progress, here you see
You
LeClair get the strike.
LeClair strikes.
Trains that use the power of Dell AI and Intel. Clearing the way. So you arrive.
Walter up on the. There we go. Walter on the right lane. Doing
Doing
what Walter does, kind of keeping it high hard one to the pocket. But that's how he played the lanes all day today.
And they're going to have to get that score reversed as LeClair started the match. So they will get that fixed on your scoreboard momentarily.
Deadeye with a black diamond. I wonder if we're going to have a retro remake of Black Diamonds.
Is it if somebody comes in one of those hard rubber balls to your pro shop in Columbus, Tom, is it tough for you to have to drill one of those?
Yes, I actually have a guy that comes in that actually has a Black Diamond and a Black Beauty, and he loves those things. Walter actually giving a little hook on that left lane. You see that?
So once again, that's Walter Ray with the 9-spare strike. So all they really got to do is switch names, and we'll be back into play here.
Technical difficulties.
Been a few of them around here tonight, but we're fighting right through it like everyone else is.
Brian LeClair feeling pretty comfortable in this semifinal match, but you know, when you're having to go against Walter Ray, I don't know how comfortable you can get. That checked up a little early.
That one up hard.
He's staring it down going, I thought that might have been pretty good, but now we got an all-even match. Just the names are still in the wrong spot.
I'm sure there's somebody at the counter right now getting ready to switch those names out. And clear.
That is one amazing knee brace that he has on. I mean, that's like RoboCop. You look at that thing.
Yeah, Glenn Morgan Smith had the same brace on this week bowling, and Morgan Smith had a knee injury from skiing, a skiing accident. A little different for LeClair because LeClair was just wear and tear, wasn't it, over the years?
He didn't want to have the knee replacements that some of us have had. I got my knees working; they're pain-free. Now I got to get my swing working.
Yeah, you just had a knee replacement not right before the first of the year, didn't you?
Yeah, 28 weeks ago on my left leg.
Not the performance you wanted in the lanes this week, but good to be back on the lanes, I'm sure.
Oh, it is. Whoa. That's where he coasted that one out, but the result was better. He didn't leave a bucket this time.
That is a lot of 9 right there for LeClair.
Yeah, that was almost 0-9. Like I said, we've seen a lot of gutter balls.
The region's leading academic health system, most advanced neurology care, most cardiac surgeries. The largest and most experienced cancer.
So LeClair, thumb in, fingers in,
and new surgery, oncology,
and hopefully spare in.
You don't see a lot of players do that. I know Tommy Jones does it. He does it. Actually, Wayne Webb, he did it. Thumb in, fingers in.
So LeClair down by 1, but can find himself down by 11 if Walter Ray finds 10 back on this shot.
Walter throwing a conspiracy pearl. Pin up. That's something you don't see Walter throw a whole lot of either, pin up balls. He normally likes to pin a little closer to his axis. He likes to see the ball roll a little sooner instead of shape up on the back end, but maybe since he's been practicing two-handed, his eyes have gotten used to the ball snapping on the back end.
Did that ball Walter is using right now come out a lot during the 3 rounds of competition he went through today? I mean, he's got 16 games in before we even got to this point. He had a Bocash's round.
And actually, it came out in the next to last game, and he was used it just on the left lane. And a different ball he was throwing, I think, a squatch on the right lane. And in the last match, he decided to throw that ball, which got him to second place.
You don't think you like that one much, do you, ladies and gentlemen?
He's getting a little fired up. That's kind of like the Walter of old. He wants, I think he wants to get to 50 titles.
I'll tell you what. A year on the Pba50 Tour where Walter Ray didn't win a title is probably his biggest motivation from last year, because he finished second 3 times, including in this event to Michael Haugen Jr.
Back in business. Now it is still slow as you come east of the blue. You can see the eastbound taillights going slowly into Belmont Avenue, but at least all lanes are open both directions, but travel times are slow, still over an hour.
Oh, the 6 with some 11 on the 10.
Yeah, almost looked like a 7-10 late fall, but he's still playing that left lane the same way. He's getting it out to La La Land out there next to the gutter, where a lot of people don't like to swing it that close to the gutter. They think they're running out of boards.
Yeah, our defending champion, Michael Haugen Jr., finished 11th this week here at Maple Lanes Countryside.
He just, in that last round, had trouble getting the ball to he didn't have a problem hitting the pocket. He had a problem with it going through the pins the right way.
Police chase along and on and around the Roosevelt Boulevard that ended in deadly gunfire. A driver is suspected of a carjacking, pointed a gun out of the window. Police eventually.
That ball not near as far out down lane. And that's where I just think he should be playing, because that right lane is just so, or left lane rather, is so touchy out by the gutter. It's just like there's a hang spot there.
Some of the other top finishers as well. James Stotts finished 6th, Ryan Schaefer 7th, Brian Goebel 8th, Amado Monticelli 9th, and Lenny Morris Jr., our champion, who's going to try to defend next week in the Villages, finished 10th. The head pin and the 4 were and the 5 were all fighting to take that 7 down that time.
It almost did, but you give it the old twirl, come on back ball. That last position round match, Walter was literally launching the ball. He was getting it out on the lane and just lifting through it with lots of speed and literally a great amount of turn. I mean, sometimes people think that Walter doesn't really rev the ball, but he revs it a lot more than you think he does.
Sometimes people equate rev with how much the ball hooks, and that's definitely not the case tonight for Walter Ray, because the revs are there. It doesn't need to hook a lot, and it is so effective at the pocket right now.
Yeah, he's not giving that ball away much. He's storing all that energy for the ball to hit the pocket. There's always a saying, straighter is greater, and I'm pretty sure he's lived by that for most. Being a horseshoe guy, straighter is greater.
Jeff Goodger and I were talking this morning on the way here, and we both kind of looked at each other in the car and said, Walter Ray is probably going to win this thing, because he really ever has to take the long road. He's rarely ever in the cashier's round. I said he's going to prove everybody wrong that he can't go through 20 games in a day and win a title, and he's looking like he's getting close. Well, he's going to go through 18 for sure.
Yeah.
If he gets to the title match, great shot there by LeClair. But yeah, Walter Ray, he's just got that, he hasn't won in so long on the 50 Tour. He's got that fire burning right now.
Yeah, I think he's fired up this year. Last year, he just seemed very casual, for lack of a better word, and he was okay with it. But I think that he's got a point to prove now. Walter going at a 290 pace if he goes off the sheet.
Yeah, Walter Ray actually has room for a 9 spare right now, where he'd still be tied with LeClair if they both then ended up throwing strikes the rest of the way.
LeClair, possible 269. That's not shabby. We've seen a lot of games today, 279, 277 matches.
That one just looked flat out of the palm.
LeClair rolled it well, but the 10.
That was almost the same spot he got it the last time that struck there, but it just. We're going through some transition now. He didn't look like he hit that as well as he did the others, but when you're not trying to overhit it anyway, how much is too much and how much is too little? And a lot of these guys, it's a feel thing anyway. They have great touch at the bottom of the swing.
You don't want to say this match is over if Walter Ray strikes you in the 7th and 8th frames, but it's the door will be very close to shut on LeClair if Walter Ray makes that happen.
The lady is warming up. She might not be singing, but she's warming up. And I think he likes what he has. He's playing farther to the right. When you give a guy like Walter or Norm their favorite shot, because they like to go up the outside, they're pretty tough to beat.
Here you see behind LeClair's left shoulder, Walter Williams' pride, Fancy Williams, and definitely the most vocal supporter Walter Ray will have here this evening.
Yeah. And you might even hear over the top of us if he strikes again.
Right. Looking to basically end this.
That is so shocking.
He's pretty much put the nail in the coffin there.
We travel quite a bit, and we have these paddles here. So a little quiz, little survey here. Which do you prefer, hard side or soft side? Really? You're the odd one out. You like soft side? Squish everything in. Yeah, thank you.
LeClair just going to have to go through the motions, and I think he knew he just had to go through the motions. And that wasn't one of his better performances there. Got that one in, a little soft. Easy spare conversion. But Walter is going to be bowling for another title on the Pba50 Tour against probably the most animated guy that we have out here, Mr. Good Stuff, Sammy Ventura.
Hey, good morning, Robin. Breezy.
Hey, you can see that LeClair knows it's done.
Yep.
Remained unscathed, thankful that they had some clouds and some rain yesterday that kind of stabilized the atmosphere.
Now just Walter Ray polishing everything off. Walter Ray,
Where you see the damage from easily
290 possibly. That's the one thing you hear sometimes with players where they go, you know, a player gets a big game, you worry about that. They worry about that emotional letdown after. There's no worry about that for Walter Ray. As many times as said,
Walter's been here so many times. There's no letdown. He looks at every game as just that game. I mean, that's behind him now. It's a new game. It's another player. Can't live in the past.
It looks like damaging wind for Ohio, parts of Kentucky, over into western Pennsylvania and New York. Big hail possible back in Oklahoma and Texas, but also flash flooding. They have had super saturated last week or so along the Red River Valley. So if you had 3 to 7 inches of rain, you will have a significant flash flood event. So that's what we're worried about going into tonight, guys.
With that messenger.
With the messenger.
when it's your day, it's your day. And you see the smile there for Walter Ray.
Senior messenger. Walter just kind of smiling about it.
The rest allegedly played supporting roles, but all 10 are charged with being part of an organized criminal gang that stole millions of dollars worth of jewelry from Kardashian during Paris Fashion Week 2016. In court, the accused confirmed their identities between 68 and 70.
Didn't like that one. Okay, but that completes this match. Walter Ray moving on to the title match against Sammy Ventura, looking for his very first title.
There you see the matchup coming up. Walter Ray Jr. versus Sammy Ventura for the title here at the Pba50 Giant Petraglia BVL Open. Come up with that match next.
$4 million engagement ring from Kanye West. Kardashian has said she thought she would be shocked. She told investigators, "I knew I was going to die." She's going to testify about all this later in the trial, which is being overseen by 3 judges and 6 jurors, guys.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much for that. We're going to turn now to an alarming resurgence of a condition known as black lung affecting younger coal miners, just as recent firings have hit federal health regulators. Jay O'Brien is in Washington for us with more. Good morning, Jay.
Michael, good morning. We traveled to coal country.
Okay, so let me subscribe.